Hi everybody, it's meteorologist Joe Cioffi. It's Friday, June 1st, 2018, at 6 o'clock Eastern Time. I have a sore throat and a cold, so I'm going to try to get through this tonight, even though I am struggling a little bit today. We are at the start of hurricane season. I just want to say off the top, thanks to Anthony Orr pointing this out, the Colorado State University, who has been putting out long-range forecasts on hurricane season for a number of years now, did come out with an update already on the forecast that they issued in early May, and they actually lowered it by one storm and one major, so from 7 hurricanes to 6, and from 3 majors to 2. And their argument is that they're seeing very cold, relatively speaking, colder than average ocean water temperatures east of 60 west going out to the African coast and the tropical Atlantic. Now, this has been true for quite a while, and I thought it was interesting that they jumped the gun so quickly. I mean, the season hasn't started yet, and they've already knocked it back by 1 degree. The ocean water temperatures being cold in that area is rather significant, because if they are colder than average, it might cut down on development of Cape Verde type systems, which usually aren't an issue until you get into August and September. Might also keep tropical waves a little weaker as they move across. On the other hand, that condition could change pretty quickly, and I've seen water temperatures flip fast from going from much below to much above average over a matter of a couple of weeks, depending on the wind direction, or even less time than that. So we'll see. Bottom line is that I don't think any long-range forecast last year talked about having 7 major hurricanes and 3 Category 5 hurricanes all in one season. My point being that I think there's a limited value to long-range prediction. I don't think it's valueless, but I think the value is limited. It's only going to be able to tell you so much. Now, let me also tell you right now, if I feel up to it, there'll be a Joe Cioffi show at 9:15 on Facebook, the Joe and Joe Weather Show, and I have been uploading them to YouTube. I did create a separate playlist on my YouTube channel page with just the Joe and Joe shows on there. So you can access them if you want to go back and binge watch them like Game of Thrones. I can't imagine why you'd want to binge watch weather videos, but no matter. Everybody's into something. But they are there for your convenience, all in one place, and that should make them very easy to find, and at least you won't mix them up with the regular videos or have to thumb through a long list. So just made it a little bit easier for everybody. And I just want to say off the top that there's an Amazon link on the descriptor to this video, and most of my weather videos, we have an affiliate relationship with Amazon. If you shopped on Amazon via that link, then Amazon throws me back some coin. You get your stuff at low prices and everybody's happy. It's a great way, an easy way to support my channel. For those of you who have used it, thank you very much, and no one is under any obligation to do so. Okay, here's the severe weather issue tonight, because we do have severe thunderstorm watches up for northern Alabama into northern Georgia. That marginal risk that kind of thumbs up into south central Virginia. And then we've got this big area here with enhanced risk in parts of Montana, moderate risk in parts of, enhanced risk in parts of western North Dakota, and moderate risk in central Nebraska. A big area of severe weather risk going up through the central and northern plains as they're getting some action, and we're seeing pretty active radars there. There are also some strong thunderstorms that have fired up in western New York this evening. They are not severe. They're just kind of, at least from what I've seen, just part of the general thunderstorm activity that's going on with the tropical air that is in the east. Now, I'll show you on the full U.S. satellite loop, and we're starting to see that tropical connection cut off a little bit although we do have convection in the Northwest Caribbean, there isn't this continuous line of moisture running up into the eastern part of the United States anymore. So that's at least good news. But we do have a lot of clouds in the northeast, and we do have weather systems that we have to play through. And if you look up in the northern plains, you can start to see the cloud cover with the developing thunderstorms that are moving eastward and heading into the plain states, where we have that large area of severe weather risk. Otherwise, much of the west coast is looking good. Much of the southwest and back over through Texas also looking good as well. And a little bit of a break right now, at least for parts of Virginia and North Carolina, although there will be some thunderstorms firing up at some point. We don't, excuse me, we are getting more optimistic, by the way, when it comes to the weekend for my neck of the woods. I'll get to that in a second. But here's the Northeast Regional radar right now, and there's the thunderstorms I was telling you about in upstate New York. By the way, it's 7 minutes after 6 Eastern time, so if you are watching this video later this evening, please bear that in mind, that you're not looking at the current satellite and radars. So be sure to check with your local National Weather Service office regarding severe weather threats for your area, and you can access that on weather.gov. But there are some isolated strong cells throughout much of southwestern New York State and along the Pennsylvania-New York State border, and a little bit of activity up in northwestern Vermont and some downpours in Maine. I had some rain today for a little while, but then that rain moved out and we're just kind of sitting in warm, humid conditions. So I'm going to just bring up the models real fast. This is, I'm trying to kind of stagger through this with regards to the way I'm feeling tonight. Excuse me again if I wind up keeping it short. I got a good reason. So I'm thinking a little more optimistic for me for Sunday, for my area, eastern Pennsylvania to southern New England, maybe down into central New Jersey, in that it looks like that high to the north is going to build a little bit stronger, and dry air is going to wedge its way down the coast. And this happens from time to time when we have these backdoor, these big highs building down from eastern Canada, that sometimes the dry air pushes down further south if the block is a little stronger, and that actually happened a few days ago. Well, it may happen again. So yes, there is the chance for some showers on Saturday, but I could wind up being partly to mostly sunny on Sunday with a little bit of luck, at least for part of the day, before low pressure starts to come back up, and you can see it here off the coast, and it does produce some decent rain here along about Monday into Monday night. And then as weather conditions try and improve on Tuesday, we are going to see, I'm going to make this map a little bit wider. As weather conditions start to improve on Tuesday, we do have another front that is going to be moving through the northeast, and that will produce maybe a few showers late Tuesday into Tuesday night, and then hopefully everything keeps moving along and weather conditions continue to improve. Now, as far as the severe weather risk is tonight, let me just back it up. And you can see the action low pressure that's sitting in eastern Colorado. We're getting those showers and storms that are up to the north, and they are going to, excuse me, just having a, hang on guys, 1 second, okay? Hang on. Sorry about that. When you're about to sneeze and you realize you don't have any tissues with you, you got a problem. So there's your severe weather tonight, and you see how the GFS really kind of blows up convection there on up into western North Dakota with a snaking line that goes down into parts of Nebraska, and then it really fires those up in Nebraska and through eastern North Dakota. So this looks like it's going to be a pretty decent, well, meteorological, decent's not the right word. This is going to probably be a pretty a strong and extensive severe weather outbreak for tonight in the northern plains, and then that's all going to shift to the east as we move into Sunday. It's that upper trough, by the way, that interacts with the energy that's going to be along the mid-Atlantic coast, along the stalled frontal boundary, that you get a wave to develop on it, and you can see it there. You've got the system to the north, and then one to the south and east, and then that moves out. And as I said, after that, another front moves on through. So hopefully that keeps on going as, you know, the blocky pattern should start to break down a bit as we move into the middle part of next week. As far as tropical systems are concerned, I don't see anything in the short range. We're still in this game where the GFS is showing something beyond day 9 and 10. It seems to be moving it closer, but we haven't seen the other models follow suit yet. So until they do, if you happen to see the model do it, use this rule, as I've said. Make sure that you check some of the other models, and if they're not doing it, if there's at least one other model that's doing it, then you can, you know, kind of get a raised eyebrow over it. But if not, then you just got to treat it as model noise, and you know, we're going to be seeing these things spin up on the models from time to time as we move through the next 3 or 4 months. Now here's the rainfall forecast from WPC, and this is for 7 days, so this takes us right into the end of next week, but a lot of this is going to be front-end loaded. So we're looking at rainfall amounts from now through Tuesday, and you know, generating areas of 1.5 to 2.5 inches across West Virginia, northern Maryland, northeastern Virginia, almost the whole state of Maryland and Delaware, and into southwest New Jersey, and then a couple of pockets in the Hudson Valley and in parts of southeastern New England, and a general area of about 1 inch or so. Most of this is going to fall between now and next Tuesday, and I think if those are the amounts and we're spreading them out over 4 or 5 days, I would tend to think they shouldn't be problematic from the standpoint of any kind of flooding issues. Although in Maryland, Delaware, Virginia, a lot of that ground is saturated, so it wouldn't really take very much to cause some flooding issues going forward. I want to just really quick take a look at the upper air, and hang on, I'm gonna widen this out. I'll bring up the big North America view. I apologize again for feeling like crap, you know, because this really started hitting me yesterday. I think someone mentioned the fact that they saw me rubbing my eyes a lot yesterday. Well, maybe that was the sign, because I did develop a scratchy throat late yesterday afternoon, and by the time I got home, it was a full-blown sore throat. So, it happens. I do not like summer colds. They are not fun. Okay, so we'll watch that blocking high develop, and over Iceland and Greenland, that pretty much goes on schedule. And then you get this trough that comes into the east. I'll back up a model run here so we can go to earlier today and get out further. You know, we do see the blocking high breakdown later next week, and while we still have some general troughing in the northeast, it is a northwest flow, so at least weather systems will be moving along. And then, as we move into mid-month, and the GFS has been kind of showing this for a little while, trying to build a ridge into the eastern part of the United States. So let's see if that trend continues. Excuse me, because if that is the case, we are going to have some hot weather maybe for the middle of the month. But I'm not sure if I'm buying this yet. So, you know, let's wait and see how this all plays. I know that's one of my favorite phrases, but there's not really much you can do. When you're looking at something beyond the 10-day period, you just have to kind of say, okay, that's what it does. Well, let's see if it really winds up being that, or is there something upstream that the model's not seeing at the moment that's going to wind up having some impact in all of this. So it looks like we've got a few of you on tonight. Good to see everybody. I know it's a Friday night before a weekend, and we start to get to these summer weekends. Unless there's a tropical system running around, I'm guessing that interest is going to be low. Anomalous Howard, PlayStation Boss, Kev Dreadful, good to see everybody here. Jason, Delvin, Gary, Scott Olson, K-Dog, Nice to see everybody here. And Lisa M., also good to see you. You had quite a bit of street flooding this morning, Jason, in Garden City. Yeah, it was a fast inch and a quarter of rain in some places in Nassau County this morning. A lot of that fell in about 45 minutes time. I actually had some good downpours my way, but it wasn't, anything exceptional. It rained hard, but I've seen it, a lot worse than that. William Uber is on this evening. Nice to see you here, Bill. I'm just trying to see, is it possible that over the lower specific humidity in the southwest causes air there to hold moisture longer, which leads to heavier rains when the clouds do finally rain out as their air moves east? Not quite understanding your question. I don't, I'm not getting your question. I got to pass that on, and maybe somebody can, maybe it's because my head's all stuffed up that it's not sinking in, Anomalous Howard. A lot of times, I know that the rains in some of the, in the southwest, the air can be so dry that you can wind up having the rain evaporate before it reaches the ground. I'm not really quite sure what you're asking here, but let me pass this along to somebody, and maybe it'll finally hit. 4 flash flood warnings in western New York today, and not a surprise with that line that's moving through parts of western New York. I know you're looking for that severe weather. I don't know if I don't think you're going to see it out of those cells tonight. And I certainly wouldn't call the New York City rainfall forecast anything extreme. I'm thinking that we're going to see some sunshine here on Sunday as that dry air wedges down from New England. Folks, I got to cut it short. I'm getting tired, and I got to save my voice for tomorrow. So let me tell you my plans. Sick or not, I will be doing my my library talk tomorrow at Middle Country Library on Long Island in Center Reach, which is, if you are on Long Island, it's exit 61 on the LIE. Take Holbrook Road north, which is the second left, up to Middle Country Road. Take a right there, and then take the next left, which is Eastwood Boulevard. And the library is right there. It's easy to find, just Waze it. But I'll be there at 10:30 tomorrow morning till noon, talking about weather and the hurricane season. And I am going to attempt to live stream it, okay? I can't guarantee that it'll work, but I am going to attempt it. I am subject to the signal, the library signal that's there, which may be strong enough, maybe it won't be. I don't know. So I'm only going to know if I try. So we're going to attempt it. So if you're around, I know folks would rather be doing things on Saturday than sitting around watching a live stream of me talking weather on a day where the weather may not be especially active. But nonetheless, if you are around and you want to watch, by all means watch. Maybe you'll be sitting on the beach and you can watch me on the beach if it happens to be beach weather where you are. All right, folks, have a great evening. Sorry to cut it short. I'm going to try the Joe and Joe Show on Facebook at 9:15, and if we pull it off, I will update it on Facebook and on YouTube, and put it in the YouTube my channel library, and on the Joe and Joe Show playlist that I have created, where all the Joe and Joe weather shows sit, so that you can have very easy access. As soon as the new one loads, it'll go right into that playlist, and you'll be able to find it. Have a great evening, folks, and if I don't see you over the weekend, have a great weekend. Live stream tomorrow from the library, fingers crossed, at 10.